Boy, oh boy, is the wait over. New drip marketing. We are getting lighter, gamers. I think we all know who we're pulling for. Here's a little, little video they have of him right here of Mr. Lighter Dude. He looks hot. I love his character design. I think he looks a lot cool. He's a stun fire as well. Yo, this might actually be a must pull. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, the full drip marketing is out now. Here he is. He looks so good. Lighter is here. I am so sorry, Miyabi Wanners, Miyabi fans, Miyabi stans. It doesn't look like you're getting Miyabi this patch, but we are getting a lighter, which looks absolutely amazing. And we're going to kind of talk about where I think he fits on the tier list, kind of like we did the last night with Yanagi there. But he is a pyro or fire stun type character, and I love it when they add new stun type characters in the game. The last one we got was Chingy. Chingy was super good because, first of all, stunners can just realistically be ran on just about any team that you would want to put them on, right? And this is kind of what I feel like these Sons of Calydon needed. If you watched one of my videos previously when we had the Seizure King and Bernice drip marketing, I was like, okay, cool, we have Bernice Anomaly, now we have a support type character that works as a pseudo breaker, now we need like a breaker on the team, right? This is him. This is going to finish up that Sons of Calydon team, or really, I guess, give it the push it needs to become like a more meta-esque team, because I think that this could be absolutely banger for the whole Sons of Calydon meta, right? Because the big thing with Sons of Calydon is, because now we have fire type, we also are going to be having physical type as well, and yeah, it's just really fire and physical the whole way through. I don't think there's any other typings in these Sons of Calydon. We can check Pride one real quick and see. Yeah, Sons of Calydon is literally just all fire and physical, so I can see him maybe doing some type of a buff to fire and physical type characters. I mean, he just looks super cool all around. I mean, we saw and heard him in that little video we watched earlier, but man, I love his design. But let's talk about where I think he's actually going to sit and everything like that after reading this little snippet over here. Agent Record, lighter. Is anyone up for the challenge of an undefeated champion? You may not have the skill to defeat me, but could you not bleed so much? I know, fainting at the sight of blood isn't a very impressive for the champion, or is this the way of bringing us both down? So he faints at the sight of blood? Brother, that's kind of weird, don't you think? But yeah, let's go over to the tier list here, because I kind of want to talk about it. Let's even bring up all the fire characters we have right now in the game. That is going to be Calydon, Lucy, Ben, and then also Soldier 11, and then we can put Bernice in here as well. Bernice will be in the Anomaly DPS, but I do think he'll be sitting up here atop with the rest of these stun characters, and this is the quote I made in the last video. I said, the tier list video I made, right? Like, I said in the tier list video, guys, that I think that whenever we get a new stunner and or she comes down, right? So either if we got Miyabi and then this moves down from Miyabi, then he would be moving down to this tier, and then this would push her down, and then this would push her down, and then the tier list here would be more structured, I guess, because we're missing like whatever the lowest tier is here. So I think this would set it more in the right direction, and then you'd put him up here for this stunner category. Now, in terms of what I think he's going to do, I think there are a couple things that he has to do to actually be beneficial for a stun based team. And what I mean by this, guys, is if you look at both Lycon and Chingy as well, we can take a okay, this is taking 10 years to load. First of all, if you notice what both of these characters do, Lycon increases the stun damage multiplier by 35%. Same thing as what Chingy does as well. She's going to be increasing the stun damage multiplier by I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head right here. I think it's like 100%. It's a lot, right? And then also he is going to be giving ice damage res, which I think he might be doing something like that with fire or physical. But I think generally it's probably not even going to be fire and physical. It'll probably be more of an overall buff, because that's what we see here for Chingy, or Chingy buffs herself. I think he's going to do something like buffing the team as well, or maybe Anomaly-esque breaker. We haven't got that yet, no, we haven't got that yet. An Anomaly-esque breaker. What do you guys think? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below of what do you think he's actually going to do. Obviously, he's going to be a stun type character, but we have got Bernice in the game now, right? We have gotten Seizure King, right, which is a breaker type unit that kind of like buffs the team up. But the other characters we have for the Sons of Calydon here are what we have Lucy, which is like just a de facto buffer over here, and then we have Miss Piper as well, which is Anomaly. So most of the DPS that we have for this class are Anomaly, so I can actually see him doing some type of buff for Anomaly-esque characters. I mean, okay guys, I just really can't get over this. I love his like little gauntlet over here. It just looks so fucking cool. I think the Sons of Calydon just look really cool in general, but yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do, play some type of role into like the whole meta with Anomaly and stuff like that. But there is one other point I wanted to bring up here, and it's not even necessarily about Lighter, or even about whoever we saw last night, Miss Yanagi as well, which is also another Anomaly type character. It seems like they're doubling down super hard on Anomaly. So I think you should honestly start building up those Anomaly-esque characters. Like, for example, I think it'll probably be decent to build up Seth. I think Seth is going to be really beneficial for these teams. I also really think that you could build up someone like Grace for Anomaly proficiency, or just like building up a lot of Anomaly on the characters and then putting this off on them. Like, I feel like Anomaly is going to be the meta. They feel like they are pushing so hard for Anomaly, and with him being fire here, I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. And wait, we can even take a look at the new set to see, maybe even see what he does, right? But looking at some of the sets here, right, I really don't think he's going to be like Anomaly proficiency. Now, one thing I could see them doing, I guess, right, is maybe they do something like they have already done with like Caesar King, right, where it takes one stat. Oh, I keep going, I'm not even going to the right page here. Maybe it works in a way like Caesar King works, right, where she takes Anomaly proficiency and then turns that into crit rate, crit damage. Maybe he does the same thing, but with Anomaly proficiency. Maybe he takes Anomaly proficiency if he's a more Anomaly focused like buffer, like she stuns and then he gives a buff to the allies or debuffs the enemies to make them take more Anomaly damage or something like that. Maybe his stun or impact scales off of Anomaly proficiency. Then it would make more sense to farm this setup for him as well. Though, do I think that's going to be the case? Probably not. He's probably just going to go and farm this Shockstar Disco set. That is probably going to be all in all what you want to farm for, but you never know, right? They've already done this with something like Jane Doe, right? Which arguably she's already the Anomaly typing, so building Anomaly proficiency in her is kind of to be thought about. But if we look at someone like Seth, right? His shield's equivalent to his attack. If we look at someone like Caesar King, her shield scales off of impact. So why wouldn't it make sense for him to have some type of scaling with fire, right? And who's to say that this set won't be beneficial for Yanagi as well, right? Because it does do fire and electric damage. She's electric, he's fire. Makes sense that maybe he has some type of off-field damage, right? Because it says the fire and electric damage are increased by 15% when off-field, caused by EX special attacks or assist attacks, or is increased by 20%. So maybe he put some type of fire proc on the enemy whenever he's going to be using his EX skill, which is inherently breaking the enemy, and then you immediately swap off, right? So it kind of makes sense in my eyes, right? If they're going to be giving this additional buff, they're kind of incentivizing you here to swap off said character to get this buff. And what is the main thing that you're doing with breaking characters? You're swapping off of those characters so your other characters can get DPS. So maybe this does help him in a way, because you're going to be using him for the most part of breaking the enemy, right? Then whenever the enemy is broken, you're coming in with that burst type stuff and then doing some big damage. And the reason I think he could be a must-pull character is because if he does play into that Anomaly class like we mentioned before, you're probably going to need him to build your Anomaly team to be like a best-in-slot Anomaly character. Right now, this is contingent on if you pull Chingy or not, or if you even have like good breakers on your account, right? I think he could maybe be such an upgrade for the stun class for Anomaly type characters that he could be a must-pull because he fits into that niche really well, and you don't have to really play it on like the broad aspects of someone like a Chingy or someone like a Lycon that you're missing out on the ice res, or even someone like a Calydon, right? I think that he could be a must-pull for that reason, because Anomaly characters, I think, need like a really strong stun unit to really help them out. I think this could be a great pull for that situation. Other things I think they could do with him, though, that is kind of unique, right, is, as we can see, these bows give you like an increased stun damage multiplier, which I think he is going to do. I think he is going to give an increased stun damage multiplier. What if he increases the amount of time the enemy is stunned by? Because this would mean that your off-field DPS, or your DPS that you're not using as much because you're trying to break the shield with him, are going to have more time on the field. So technically this would make him have like the same amount of uptime, I guess, but giving your other allies more uptime, which means more damage out more consistently. That's how I see it in my mind, but I could be completely wrong on that. I really want to know though, what do you guys think in the comment section down below? Are you hyped for the boy lighter? Oh my god, I know I am. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below though. All the Miyabi lovers, surely in 1.4 you'll get your wish.